Broadcasting live from Lost Vale on the plain of Ixalan, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, Graham here.
James here.
Cameron here.
And today on the show, we're going to be doing a Q&A mailbag episode. We sent out a call on Twitter, and we're going to, your Q's, our A's, we're going to do a whole bunch of questions. But first, some Crack-A-Pack fun times. And before even that, a thank you to you and your kind support of us on patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. Patreon supports not only this show, but all the shows that we do. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. And a shout out to cardkingdom.com. You go to cardkingdom.com/LRR. That puts our affiliate code on there, lets them know that we sent you their way, and we send you over there because we literally use them ourselves. They'll ship a sealed product anywhere in the US. They'll ship singles anywhere in the world. They have awesome customer service, really fast shipping, and we think they're great. So that's why we work with them. So before our regular Crack-A-Pack this week, we have an extra special Crack-A-Pack. So this is a buy-a-box Crack-A-Pack. This is a special thing that Wizards is doing with Ixalan.
Yep.
If you buy a box from your local game store, this doesn't actually work if you buy it online, or I don't think it works if you go to like Walmart or something. No. This is an LGS exclusive. You get not only the buy a box promo card, which is generally a thing that happens. If you buy an entire box, you get a special card, which in this case is an alternate art Burning Sun's avatar, which you also get. You get this whole pack. And in the pack is that Burning Sun avatar, 2 foil basic lands illustrated by Rebecca Gay.
Presumably of varying, like, mountain.
I think so. Well, we opened one of these packs on stream yesterday, and we got a mountain and an island.
So we'll find out.
I know. You get 2 foil cards that are just cards from Standard. They could be any rarity.
Yep.
In the other pack, we happened to get a Trial of Strength and a Scorpion God. And then 4 rare or mythic cards from Standard.
Dang.
It seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the value seems quite strong.
So we're going to open one of these right now.
Yeah, we're going to open this one first, and then we're going to roll the dice and open one of yours. So first thing up is the Shadowed... What is that one?
Shadowed Caravel.
This is an interesting card. I've seen this go off in sealed.
Really? I actually haven't seen this card. So it's a 2/2 vehicle for 2.
Yeah.
And crew is 2. And whenever a creature you control explores, you put a +1/+1 counter on Shadowed Caravel. This actually seems pretty sweet.
Seems fine. And obviously in the Explore deck.
Potential upside is pretty high.
All right. Next up is...
it's Rishkar, Pima Renegade. 2/2 for 2 and a green, Elf Druid. When Rishkar enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Could be Rishkar, doesn't have to be. And then any creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it, any creature, taps for 1 green mana.
Combo.
Good in the Elf deck. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
What? No.
Well, Rishkar can crew the... Wait, no, you can... No.
Enters the battle, put a plus...
I'm trying to figure out if you can crew in response to the trigger, but you can't. This is a situation where I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Use Rishkar to crew the Caravel and then put a counter on the...
because it's an enter the...
Next up, Authority of the Councils.
Authority of the Consuls, yeah. Single white mana from Kaladesh. Enchantment. Creatures your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life. Not an all-star, but...
All right, so those are the three rares. Here's the 4th.
Oh, yeah, there's 4. Oh, hey, Channeler Initiate. 1 and a green for 3/4 Human Druid. Enters the battlefield with 3 -1/-1 counters on... when it enters the battlefield, you put 3 -1 counters on target creature you control. Could be the Initiate, could be something else. Tap and remove a counter, and to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
This was unreal in Amonkhet.
It was very good and limited. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Some Honor Guard? Something's Honor Guard. So it's the one, it's from Ixalan. It's a 1/3 for 1 and a white. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger.
Yeah, right.
So you play this, and you just get a 3/4 for 2.
Yep. Yeah,
It's
sure
like
do.
Tokatli's Honor Guard, I think it is.
Yeah, it's the new hate
there.
bear.
Yep.
Tokatli Honor Guard, I got it. Nice. Yeah, pretty good.
All right.
Yeah, very spicy.
Foil number 1.
All right, foil number 1 is
Reason to Believe.
Reason to Believe. So it's a split card from Hour of Devastation. Reason is a single blue mana sorcery, scry 3. All right. And then Believe is the Aftermath half, which is 4 and a green. Look at the top card of your library. You may put it onto the battlefield if it is a creature card. If you don't, put it into your hand. So good combo if you can do these both in the same turn. You just get to play a big creature for free.
Next foil is the Scrapper Champion.
Ooh, Scrapper Champion. So it's a 2/2 for 3 and a red with double strike. And when it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. This was also very good and limited. And whenever it attacks, you may pay 2 energy, and if you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Scrapper Champion.
This was a big problem when you faced this in limited.
Yeah.
And then we have a mountain and a forest of the Rebecca Gay art of the lands, which are very pretty. And as mentioned, the alt art Burning Suns avatar.
Very nice.
So I would say that the box or the pack that we opened on stream yesterday was
Spicier than this one.
Spicier than this one.
It had a Samet, for example.
Samet, the foil god.
But this is not like this is not bad.
No, this is not bad. This is a. I think it's a really good incentive.
Cameron.
I think it's a really good incentive to go out and grab a box, especially if you were already getting a box. Is this a reason to buy a box if you weren't already planning to do so? Probably not.
I mean, it depends on how many.
But the basics.
Yeah, it depends on how many packs you were gonna. That's the alt art, yeah, Paul.
Yeah.
It depends on. I don't know. Like if you have a play group and you're like, maybe we draft. I don't know.
Oh yeah. If you have a reason to go buy a box, I haven't actually watched it yet, but Prof did a video I think that came out yesterday, which was, are these things worth it?
Right.
In terms of when you buy a box. So I haven't actually watched it. I don't know what his sort of final say is. Personally, I think they're a really great incentive. I think this is significantly better than just getting the Burning Suns avatar.
Yeah.
Because every time, like I have, I've bought a couple of boxes over the years, and generally whenever a new set comes out, we draft it here. We go buy a box and we get this promo card, and it almost always just ends up in the take back to YJ and flip pile.
Yeah.
But this feels good. You're going to pick up at least the 2 basic lands you're probably going to want to keep because they're gorgeous and they're harder to get. But you might luck out and get some cool stuff like we did yesterday. And I mean, there's some neat stuff in there. We have 1 more of these things to open, which we're going to probably do tonight during the Magic.
During the draft.
During the draft, just sort of to see what the final pack holds. But
it's not going to be one of the draft packs?
No, well, there's not quite enough cards in it. That could be an interesting idea, though.
No, there is. There's exactly enough. Well, there's
enough cards for
a 6-person pod. A 7-person pod.
A 7-person pod. If you take out the basic lands.
Yeah. Burning Suns avatar.
And you only
Burning Suns avatar.
But you only get 1 card from each, which means you need how many packs? Like 45 of these packs to do a proper draft.
You draft with these packs.
How awesome would that be, though? That'd be a lot of
right.
fun. All right,
Everyone, person to my right's and dinosaurs.
Because every single one is a Burning Suns avatar.
It's like, all right,
Everyone's
mountain,
in
go.
red. That's so
Mountain,
weird.
go. Mountain, go.
All right.
Also,
I would be curious to know. I'm sure somebody's calculated what the EV on these packs are as opposed to like a regular pack of Magic cards.
I think that would be pretty hard considering the amount of cards that you can find in these things.
F&M is now giving these out, aren't they, as prizes? Did that start now where they stopped giving out
the basics?
Where they stopped giving out the F&M promo card, or
Yeah.
the promo cards are now basic lands.
Well,
like foil
and
basic lands.
tokens and stuff like that, right?
Speaking of Prof, by the way, over at Tolarian Community College, shout outs and thanks. He reviewed our card sleeves, the I Think I'm Just Dead Here and the Urza Decro sleeves, and gave us, quote, a very solid B.
I'll
good.
take it.
That'll get you into grad school.
I just think it's fun.
kind of.
Yeah.
If you don't care where you go.
I mean, we know our sleeves are not Ultra Pro Eclipse sleeves, right?
No, yeah, no,
So
absolutely.
I'm actually thrilled
Yeah.
with a
Yeah,
very solid
yeah.
B. So
All right, let's do...
available at store.loadingreadyrun.com. All right, who wants to roll it?
Sure.
All right, do it up.
Pachu. Bye, dice. You're gone forever.
I'll miss you.
7.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, eventide.
Ooh.
It's been a while. This was from Mike, aka Captain Ender.
From which event?
It doesn't say.
Oh.
So this might have This looks like my writing, so I don't know. I think this might have been GP Vegas. I would have. I usually
Normally I write down the event.
Yeah, same.
Well,
Alrighty. First up is a slightly mangled. That might be my fault. Shell Skulkin
All right.
is a 3/2 Scarecrow for
Ooh,
4 mana,
Scarecrows.
and for 3 mana, target blue creature gains Shroud until end of turn. So the scarecrows were weird.
they were weird.
That's about
This
all I
entire
need to
set
say
was
about that.
weird.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're going back to the two
The two
like
things.
Shadowmoor and
Shadowmoor.
Shadowmoor and Lorwyn
Style.
are kind of what we're going
block
back to
sets.
now.
Sort of, although you could make a case that that was like a 4-block set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Lorwyn, Morningtide, Shadowmoor, and Eventide.
Look, in my list here, there are
They're
two
two
separate
separate
sets.
things. Yeah. All right, that's fair.
Night Sky Mimic is 1 and a hybrid white-black mana, so 1 and an Orzhov mana. For a 2/1, whenever you play a spell that is both white and black, Night Sky Mimic becomes a 4/4 and gains flying until end of turn.
That seems sweet.
Yeah, if you could trigger it, like the Mimics,
Yeah.
they were not high risk, I guess, unless you consider putting a potentially dead card in your deck risky, which I guess it is. But they were certainly high reward. Like the thing is, it's a piker, right?
It's not bad.
Yeah,
It's
it's still a 2/1 for 2.
It's a 2/1 for 2 that's easy to cast.
Yeah.
And then randomly, you can just really go there. Especially if you put the there was the cycle of enchantments, the shield of the oversoul, or
Yeah.
all of those
Yeah.
things. So if you put the white-black enchantment on the Night Sky Mimic,
I just want to
that was a big turn.
I just want to draft like 6 of these
Yeah.
and just play out like 4 and then play the last one and like get you.
Speaking of which, here's the Simic colored one of what I was just talking about. Favor of the Overbeing, 1 and a Simic mana. Enchant creature. As long as enchanted creature is green, it gets +1/+1 and vigilance. As long as enchanted creature is blue, it gets +1/+1 and flying. So you get an either/or thing.
Build your own Sarah Angel.
But then,
yeah.
if you put this on a blue-green creature, it gets +2/+2 and vigilance and flying.
Teams these?
Yeah.
Yeah, these were really cool.
Potent.
Noggle Bandit.
Yeah.
I remember when I was first getting into Magic, I was putting together a blue-red like EDH deck, or whatever he called it, before it was Commander. And I was like, oh, there are these blue and red creatures from Lorwyn. I should get some of those.
Yeah. Was Noggle Bandit one of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
So it's a 2/2
They're terrible.
for 1 is it? These are all hybrid. If you haven't seen them, if you're just listening, it's they're not gold cards. They're actually
Split. They're
they're
half.
yeah. They sort of blends between the two colors.
Yeah.
And yeah, it can be blocked except by creatures with Defender, which is not bad. I don't think there was a
I mean, it's effectively an unblockable 2/2.
yeah.
So
Oh, here we go. So Shore Crasher Mimic. So it's 1 and a Simic for a 2/1 shapeshifter. Whenever you play a spell that is both green and blue, Shore Crasher Mimic becomes a 5/3 trample until end of turn.
So imagine
if you
putting-
play Shore Crasher Mimic
And then-
cast Favor of the Overbeing
on it.
on it, for that turn, it is a 7/5 trample flying vigilance.
Yeah.
And then after that turn, it's still a 4/3 vigilance flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems decent.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
Just so it's as a I guess a reminder, or a weird thing is that these creatures are shapeshifters,
yeah.
but they're not changelings,
no,
No.
correct.
or they don't have the changeling ability.
Yes,
Yeah.
because shapeshifter is a subtype, but changeling is an ability keyword.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are all the creatures with the changeling ability also shapeshifters?
Yes. Because they are every creature type.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird. Kithkin Spellduster. There were also Kithkin in this set, which is sort of like the magic version of halflings, or hobbits, I guess. 2/3 flyer for 4 and a white, and you can sacrifice it. You can pay 1 and a white and sacrifice it to destroy target enchantment, which is not great considering you normally get that ability on a 2/2 for 2.
Yeah.
But this also has Persist.
Also, the 2/2 for 2 doesn't normally obviously doesn't fly.
Yeah, but it has Persist. And Persist is when the creature dies, you put it in the graveyard. If, when it died, it didn't have a -1/-1 counter on it, then you bring it back to the battlefield and you put a -1/-1 counter on it. There's a lot of much better creatures with persist.
Yeah.
This is okay. But what the reason for the wording is it's like it dies, it doesn't have a counter, you bring it back, then you put a counter on it, so it becomes a 1/2 flyer with the same ability. Then if it dies again, it has that counter on it, so it doesn't come back again, unless you remove the counter after it's already come back. Because persist doesn't actually care about how many times the creature's died; it only cares about the counter.
Yeah.
And this is when they introduced the rule that +1/+1 counters and -1/-1 counters cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So if this died and persisted and came back and has a minus counter on it, and then you put a plus counter on it as well, those cancel out, and it can die and persist again.
And remember that these are super non-bows with the like something like that Ammon Ket guy you just opened that puts -1/-1 counters on your own guys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You don't do that.
Odious Trow is a 1/1 for a Golgari mana. So it's a 1/1 for 1 troll, and for 1 in a Golgari you can regenerate it.
Boo.
Not amazing.
He's giving you a wink there.
Yeah. Una's Grace.
Oh,
2 and a blue, target player draws a card. 2 and a blue for 1 card is not amazing, but it has Retrace. Retrace was a really interesting ability as well. You can play the card from your graveyard by paying its mana cost and discarding a land. So this is like late game, you draw a land, and it's like, well that sucks, but at least I can discard this
Cycle it.
land and pay to cast this spell with Retrace again.
it's kind of like all of your basics had cycling for 2 and a blue.
Yeah, in this case, like there's a bunch of cards with Retrace, such as Flame Jab.
Yeah,
was
and,
single red mana for 1 damage, and so you just like late game, you're just like, well, all right, tap, Flame Jab you.
Raven's Crime was another one that I really
Raven's
loved.
Crime. Double Cleave. 1 and a Boros mana for an instant target creature gains double strike until end of turn. That's a big game.
Yep.
Hey, this one's in my Treefolk deck. Little RK post art there for Tilling Treefolk. 2 and a blue, 2 and a green for a 1/3 Treefolk Druid. When it comes into play, you may return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. Very nice.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's good with fetches.
Yeah, I'm curious to know if it was any good in like the limited set.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Hobgoblin Dragoon is a 1/2 for 2 and a Boros mana with flying and first strike.
It seems a little overcosted, but
Yeah, I imagine there was a lot of like X1 fairies
Yeah.
in this set, in these sets.
By the way, we've only had 3 colored cards that are 1 color.
Yep.
The Tilling
Yeah.
Treefolk, the Una's Grace, and the Spellduster. Everything else has been hybrid.
I actually run Una's Grace in my commander deck.
that's a token.
That is a token. We get a spirit token.
I love the spaghetti spirits.
It's so very,
Weird.
very
They're so
weird.
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 I love them. I love them.
It's weird and creepy, and I like
is
it.
weird.
But it's super, yeah. It's really unsettling.
They're very ectoplasmic.
Yeah.
Uncommons. Creekwood Ghoul is a 3/3 plant zombie for 4 and a black, but it has a hybrid activated ability. For 2 Golgari mana, remove target card in a graveyard from the game, so exile target card from a graveyard, you gain a life.
Yeah.
It's
It's still a 3/3
no
for 5 too, which is
It's no
no
scavenging
Death
ooze.
Yeah, it's no Deathrite Shaman.
I was
it's
gonna
no
say
Scavenging
yeah.
Ooze.
Yeah. Seems bad.
there's the spirit.
There's a spirit.
It's so good. It's so good.
Next. Oh, Durgar Hedgemage. There's a 2/2 for 2 and a Boros, Dwarf Shaman. When Durgar Hedgemage comes into play, if you control 2 or more mountains, you may destroy target artifact. And when it comes into play, if you control 2 or more planes, you may destroy target enchantment.
All right.
Yay!
That seems fine.
Yeah, abilities on a stick. You get to do both of those, by the way, if you
If you
control.
control 2 each.
Yeah. Also, you can still do that on turn 3 if you have Sacred Foundry, for example, which is a mountain and a plains. Any of the things that are both
Yep.
subtypes.
So just jam this in there with Plateau.
Although the chances of you playing this on turn 3 and getting double value is probably fairly low.
It's pretty slim.
Yeah.
slim.
Yeah, it's there.
Crumbling Ashes is our last uncommon. 1 and a black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, destroy target creature with a -1/-1 counter on it. Wow.
If you have ways of distributing I've never seen this card
This is
before.
not a
neither.
May
This is
ability,
kinda
which
cool.
means this tears through your own persist creatures.
It certainly would, but if you build your deck
But-
around not doing that,
This is for you to run in your red-black deck that has creatures with Wither. Wither is creatures with Wither deal damage as -1/-1 counters.
Yeah.
So they don't actually deal normal damage. It's just like if you have a 2-power creature with Wither, instead of dealing 2 damage, it puts 2 -1/-1 counters on the creature. So if the creature has 2 toughness, it still dies. But if it's a 3/3, then it becomes a 1/1, and then it will die on subsequent turns. But then, yeah, so the Crumbling Ashes, you get to just kill stuff.
I forgot all about Wither.
This
Never
is
forget
cool.
about Wither.
It's
cool card.
probably it's super cool. I don't know if it was any good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, and the rare. Ooh, Crackleburr.
I remember you.
Look at that. It's
it's a big foxy in there.
Firefox.
Yeah.
One is it for a 2/2 elemental. For 2 is it and tap 2 untapped red creatures you control. You get a lightning bolt.
Okay.
Crackleburr deals 3 damage to target creature or player. For 2 is it and untap 2 blue creatures you control. Return target creature to its owner's hand.
That's a lot.
Crackleburr has a lot going on.
I remember buying this guy and being like, "This seems amazing. Why is it 50 cents?"
Don't forget, the untap symbol is the untap symbol.
Oh yeah.
I just love
That's
that.
helpful.
I love that reminder text.
How high is the untap?
So if you have
symbol
4
on-
mana,
on
On
you
the
can do
storm
both
scale?
things.
Yeah.
I think Rosewater said they're never bringing the
They're
untap
never.
symbol
Yeah.
back.
Okay. That's fair.
Like if you have 4 mana, you can do both things.
Yeah.
As long as you also have 2
Yeah.
tapped blue creatures.
Right.
Which this counts as 1? No.
No, because you have to tap it as
tap
well.
it,
So,
untap
but
it.
if you have
Noggles,
if
if you have 2
if
Noggle
you're on
bandits,
Noggles, James,
Sure, yeah, that's
can-
fair. You can tap the 2 Noggles and then untap the 2 Noggles.
Yeah.
All right.
Infinite combo, yeah.
Combo.
Well, except for the mana.
Yeah, you need a lot of mana for that. Yeah.
This seems pretty bad.
I think it's neat.
It's neat,
I
and
like Crackleburr.
I legitimately
how many-
love that is Firefox.
Yeah.
How many lightning bolts do you need to get out of this before you start feeling good about yourself? If it didn't have the second ability,
If it didn't
was-
have, if
if
it
it
was
was just-
only the first ability,
if it was
I
red,
mean,
if this was a mono red card
if
that
it was
said red, tap
tap
2
2,
untapped red creatures you control, lightning bolt something.
I would just be, and it was still a 2/2, and it was like 1 red.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
Right. Like I would play that card all day, every day.
Yeah.
Repeatable lightning bolt is always good, regardless of how much it costs. Now that's a pretty high cost.
I would
Yeah.
definitely
But-
take this and just try.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this makes combat math miserable.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Got 4 mana open, just like doo 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 doo.
All right.
Okay.
I put the call out last night on Twitter. For anybody who doesn't know, by the way, at LRRMTG. Make sure that you follow that specific Twitter account because that is our Magic Twitter account. You can actually also follow Loading Ready Run. You should. You should
do.
follow both.
Yeah. Sometimes we are bad at posting to one and not the other.
Yeah. But that's where I ask for questions. That's where I generally ask for questions. So in a couple months when we do another Q&A, that's where I'm going to go. So if you want to try to get your questions in next time and you missed out this time, follow that account and you'll have a good chance. All right.
Okay.
Let's answer a bunch of questions.
Question from So Far Away. What card would you most like to see reprinted in Masters 25 next year?
Oubliette.
Wow, you just
Oh,
snapped
yeah.
that off.
Oubliette.
Wow.
From Arabian
Oubliette.
Nights. Pauper All-Star.
Because
it's
it's-
$30 goddamn dollars. Common, 1 black.
It's a black O-ring, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a black O-ring. Only when Oubliette dies or is removed, the creature comes back with any auras still attached to it. Like, O-ring, you O-ring the creature, the auras fall off when it gets exiled.
Right.
Oubliette doesn't really exile. It's weird. It's
So,
weird.
'cause-
And it's got about 400 words of text on it.
Yeah.
Oubliette, it's 1 black enchantment. Select a creature in play when Oubliette is cast. That creature is considered out of play as long as Oubliette is in play. Hence, the creature cannot be the target of spells and
Hence.
cannot receive damage, use special powers, attack, or defend. All counters and enchantments on the creature remain, but are also out of play. If Oubliette is removed, creature returns to play tapped.
Please, Paul, read the actual text for us.
I think it's longer.
Yeah, they weren't able because of the weird enchantment thing. They couldn't actually shorten it that much.
Does it say hence still?
No. When Oubliette enters the battlefield, exile target creature and all auras attached to it. Note the number and kind of counters that were on the creature. When Oubliette leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control, tapped with the noted number and kind of counters on it. If you do, return the other exiled cards to the battlefield under their owner's control attached to that permanent.
But it didn't mention whether or not it can use
Special powers. I love that it says hence and use special powers. Oh. Anyways, yeah, Oubliette
Attack
would be.
or
so,
defend.
Yeah.
really
Not
quickly,
block.
because there's
Intercept.
what's the set that's coming out in November? The one that was announced, or that was actually like
Iconic Masters?
Iconic Masters is November, and then next year there's a separate thing, right? Is that-
Yeah,
is
25 Masters.
25 Masters, yeah.
Isn't it Masters?
Masters 25. Yeah. So
The 25 Masters.
Oubliette
New joint from Wu-Tang.
almost certainly not going to be reprinted.
Oh.
Do you actually think it would be? Like, I would love it to be, but it feels like probably a card they'll skip
Darkness,
over.
my old friend.
Because
They forgot about it.
just because of what that text still says, I think they'd be like, no, we're not going to do this one.
I want it, though.
Yeah, no, that'd be sweet, but I don't
This and
think
Combat Witches.
Isn't like the... Well, I guess 25 is... I guess like Modern Masters is stuff that's in Modern, not trying to introduce new stuff
Oh, it's
to
not.
Modern.
It's not. It's modern.
So-
it's modern 25.
No, it's
Oh.
not. It's Masters. It's like there's Modern Masters, which was Modern cards, and Eternal Masters, which was Eternal cards. Masters 25 is just like cards.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the difference is between that and Iconic Masters, to be honest. I don't actually know.
I think Iconic Masters was supposed to be a little sillier.
Yeah. I haven't actually really looked at the full spoiler for Iconic Masters. I know we're going to draft it. I
Iconic
don't
Masters is very, like, here's all of the literal iconic cards, right?
know. Is
Like,
Crawworm in Iconic Masters?
No.
I don't think so.
All right,
I have-
Crawworm.
Crawworm.
I
there's
don't
right
know
answer.
if this is correct or not, but I did hear, I might have dreamed this, that
up.
Masters 25 was supposed to be, like, I originally thought Iconic Masters was going to be, like, the set that you actually want to draft. One of your friends is like, hey, I got a box of Unlimited.
Right.
Let's draft it.
Right.
And it sucks. I've heard Masters 25 is supposed to be that set.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, there's basically no information about it.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay, I haven't played, this is a question from John, I haven't played MTG since Kaladesh. Is Ixalan good enough to draw me back?
Yes.
I mean, you haven't been gone for very long.
Yeah, I mean, like, Amonkhet was pretty sweet also. Like, I don't know, I don't think I've played enough Ixalan to really make that call.
I am more
enjoying
excited for. I have been more excited for Ixalan than any set since Innistrad. Coming back to Innistrad.
Shadows, yeah.
Shadows. I've been kind of whatever on the last few sets. I've enjoyed them. They've been fun, but they haven't like completely wowed me. The story and the return of Tribal is really exciting, and I really enjoy it. So it's been enough to get me to play more Magic in the last few days than I've played in the last few months. But that's also just because it's a brand new set. I generally draft a lot of it the first week it comes out on Magic Online. I guess it's ask me again in like 2 weeks when
the format's solved.
When,
And like,
I mean, yeah.
well, yeah. Once you've played like,
Once I have like a dozen or so drafts under my belt, if I'm still excited to go back and draft it. So
right now, I feel very positive about Ixalan,
Yes.
but I'll probably need like, I don't know, 50, 60 more drafts to really get a good sense of whether I like it or not.
yeah.
That being said, Kaladesh, I think is my favorite draft set ever.
Wow.
Now,
Cool.
it just had
That's high praise.
it just had a lot of good decks that I like to put together in it.
That's fair.
Pirates, dinosaurs, vampires, or merfolk, what are you looking forward to playing?
Merfolk.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, although also vampires.
Yeah. So I've drafted.
Because I do like the Drain deck.
I've now. I'm on to I did my 4th Mitgo draft last night, and I'm on to my 2nd Black-White Vampire deck.
Nice.
And it is a lot of fun. There's a lot of really cool vampires. I kind of wish that there were more, but they're there, and it's possible to do it. I definitely probably forced it last night. The first one came together pretty well. Last night I was just like, yeah, no, we're doing this.
I actually did that last night as well.
Yeah.
I forced a little bit because green was pretty open pack 1, but my first pick was, is it Sanctum Seeker?
Which one's that?
Yeah,
Sort of the
the
Hellraiser kind,
Hellrider?
Hellrider
2/2
equivalent.
black, 4/3 vampire.
It's a 3/4,
3/4?
3/4. Yeah. I have that in my deck. I first picked last night the.
Force of Savagery. Nice.
I picked first pick last night the. I think it's 3 white vampire. It's a 4/4. Pay 2 life. It gets flying. Pay 2 life. It gets something else.
Sarah Pangel. Yeah, no, it gets vigilance and flying.
Yeah, vigilance. Yeah.
yeah.
It's super cool. But anyways, yeah, vampires and dinos.
But I just wanted to finish that one.
yeah, sorry.
The first pick was the Sanctum Seeker. Second pick was Blood Crazed. The
Lucky Paladin.
yeah.
The one that gets +1/+1
Yeah.
for each
I have
creature
that
that
as
died.
I think we have basically the same deck.
Yeah. And then I got like very, very late in pack 3, got the mini Sun Titan, basically. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I guess no one else is in white because this card's just great.
How many of the 1-drop are they 1/2s?
Yeah. So I only had one of the Conquistadors.
I have 5.
Okay, I had 2 Rallying Roar, which is the +1/+1 to the team and untap.
Yep.
2 Queen's Commission, 2 Call to the Feast.
Queen's Commission is the make 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Call to the Feast is make 3?
Yes.
Do you have the when you play this vampire, it deals 1 damage to each vampire you control?
Deals 1 damage?
Is it each opponent or just
Oh,
target
each
opponent takes 1 damage for each vampire?
No, I don't have that.
That
But
I have that card too.
I did
It's
get in a situation
awesome.
where I was they had some big, they were in Selesnya dinosaurs, and they had some big creatures, and I could not attack.
Yeah.
And I was just going wide with all these tiny creatures, and then I drew Sanctum Seeker, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, they're at 12. If I just attack with everything
Yeah.
and throw my 4 best creatures away,
Yeah.
they take 7, and I gain 7 on the attack. They still take 3 from these little 1/1s, and,
Yeah.
I gain more there because they have lifelink as well. And then they go to so they go to 2, and then I still have 5 vampires left over, and they're just dead on the next attack step.
Yep.
I was like, oh,
I'll just do that.
well, that turned around in a real hurry.
Yep.
So yeah, Sanctum Seeker, great if you force vampires.
All right.
I think my ethos going forward on Ixalan is going to be draft pirates or dinosaurs, because my instinct for Rivals at Ixalan is that vampires and merfolk will see a lot of support in it, and
Yes.
the pirate and dinosaur decks will become harder to put together.
I would assume so, but I don't know.
That's my guess.
That's a good guess. All right, next question.
Next question. What is your favorite pre-Ixalan vampire, dinosaur, merfolk, or pirate? I know your favorite pre-Ixalan pirate.
Oh, yeah. Ramirez Di Pietro.
Yeah.
4/3, first strike for 6 mana.
Pre-Ixalan.
Pre-Ixalan pirate would be Karizev.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-Ixalan dinosaur would be Imperiosaur.
Is that the 5/5
5/5
for 4?
for 4.
But you have to cast it with basics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-Ixalan merfolk, who the hell cares?
Lord of Atlantis.
No, the Master of Pearl Trident, right? Is that what it's Master of the
there's-
Waves or whatever the hell it's
Oh,
called?
Master of the Waves. Yeah, the 4-drop that puts in elementals.
Yeah.
Is that of Merfolk?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then favorite, yes, Master of, yeah. And
Interesting.
Then,
This guy, dodges Lightning Bolt and dodges Abrupt Decay.
Yep. And then favorite pre-vampire would be Vampire Nocturnus. Those are, I am impressed with myself for being
Yeah,
able to figure
wow.
out all those like that.
I can't.
Yeah.
Good job.
So, okay, Pirate Ramirez Di Pietro, he's my commander. I'm partial to him, even though I, in principle, agree with Carrie Zev. I think she's a sweet creature. Vampire, I just had one. Blood Artist.
Oh yeah, Blood Artist is sweet.
Dinosaur, I have to give it to Fungusaur.
Yep.
I mean, I remember
Fungusaurs.
opening that guy and being like, this seems insane. Oh no, she's dead.
And
Merfolk, Sig River Cutthroat, maybe, I think is a really
nice.
interesting card. I also like Curse Catcher, just because
yeah.
it's good. I'm also partial to my own...
Fungusaur has Enrage.
Yeah.
Has that been changed to a dinosaur?
Yeah, I believe it's now a fungus dinosaur.
Yeah.
Fungus dinosaur. All right.
It doesn't have enrage though.
No,
but it has-
It's the same
It's
sort of.
virtual enrage.
Yeah, it has the same. There's a snapping sailback. I think has exactly this
Yeah.
this enrage ability.
All right. Next.
Man. How do you? So with both the pre-release and the regular pre-release done, how do you feel about Ixalan as a limited format? I guess we've already sort of touched on
yeah,
that.
I think we've definitely been touching on that. It's good.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
Very, very good.
What would you recommend people do to try and get older sets of Magic? Buy old boosters or just the cards you need?
Just
Just always the cards you need.
Yeah.
That goes for Magic in general. Like, if there is a card that you're looking for, regardless of what set it's in, just go buy the card.
Yeah.
Like, if you're looking for X card from Kaladesh, don't go buy 12 boosters of Kaladesh. Just go buy that card.
Are you worried that you will never crack enough packs to catch up and you will have to get a second Moonbase just for storing them?
Yes.
I mean,
We could build a second moon base out of our extant cards, really. So it's we're approaching sustainability.
typically what we do is we'll do like a crack a pack episode, which gets through like maybe 4 or 5.
That's not enough.
Which is not enough. But then we'll do like a chaos draft, and with us doing weekly paper Magic streams, that's more likely. So
Yeah. I would actually expect to see a Chaos Draft soon, like in October. We'll probably do one, because we have a lot of packs.
favorite bad card from the past couple of sets.
Favorite bad card?
The card that you like, a card that you always want to make work, but just never worked.
Imminent Doom.
Imminent Doom was pretty
Because
good.
I'm sorry, it's not. It's not good.
It's not good.
I know that
I
someone
died to Imminent Doom once, and it felt so bad.
and I know that someone was playing it in standard. I know, but it's not actually.
It does say Doom
Good.
like 63 times or something like that.
Yeah.
You put Doom counters on it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean,
But it's not
Drakehaven.
great.
Drakehaven. I've tried to build it in standard, and it's just not
It
good
just never
enough.
quite gets
Good
there.
and limited though.
It's
Yeah.
good and limited, but it's just not. Maybe somebody will like crush a PT with it, and I'll feel really dumb. But I just don't think it's quite good enough for standard, which breaks my heart because I want it to be good.
All right.
Whoops, I skipped one. Now that we have pirates and dinosaurs, what other strange mashups do you want to see in a Magic expansion?
I mean, I would say that there was a little bit of a kickback, I think, for the whole pirate dinosaur thing from some people, which is why I don't really want to see them going forward doing this often. I think it would get kind of tiring if it's like, next set is ninjas and monkeys.
Yeah,
That being said, ninjas and
robots
monkeys would
versus bacon dinosaurs.
I think pirates and dinosaurs worked really well, and
Narwhals versus other memes.
I think the world that they built around it did a really good job of making it feel like it wasn't just like, you know what's awesome? Pirates and dinosaurs. Let's just put them together, right?
What about-
Just for the sake of putting them together.
Spirits versus a team of mystery-solving teenagers and a dog.
What about spirits versus Ghostbusters?
Oh yeah.
Spirits versus artificers.
Wasn't there literally a card in Shadows of Innistrad that was like the Ghostbuster trap?
It was from.
Yeah.
It was and there was also Ecto 1 in Innistrad itself, which was the Geist Catcher's rig.
Geist Catcher's
Yeah.
rig,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But it was what was it? It was like Geist. It was the like Geist. It was like the hand grenade that had a ghost inside it.
Oh right, yeah, that thing.
But I thought there was one that was also the trap. I can't remember.
I don't remember, but anyways.
What is one tribe that doesn't exist in Magic that you've always wanted to see? How could there be something that doesn't exist? They've got badgers. Badger is a tribe in Magic. How could there be
Yeah.
something that doesn't exist?
I mean, I guess you could say maybe what's one that does exist but doesn't have much in the way of support.
Badgers.
Badgers are up there. I would like to see more monkeys,
Yeah.
more good monkeys,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I kind
because
of
there are a lot of monkeys and apes.
Are they?
But,
This is
Are monkey and ape? Are those different?
yes.
Yes.
subtypes?
I believe
Never,
it.
ever confuse monkeys and apes
Especially
around biologists.
monkeys
or
or in
zoologists.
front of monkeys or apes, they
Yeah.
get angry.
Monkeys don't know enough to complain, but apes take it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This is kind of a cop-out answer, but I kind of want to see more nameless race.
Oh,
Oh.
just ones with no
subtype at
Yeah.
all, and then just have like this set where it's like subtypes do this and subtypes do that, and then just have these guys that don't interact with that in any way. That would probably be really terrible from a design perspective. Now that I think about it,
By the way, Nameless Race it's a card from
the Dark, I think.
this one. Yeah, the Dark. So it's a star for 3 and a black with trample, and you pay star life when bringing Nameless Race into play. I'm reading the old text. Effects that prevent or redirect this damage may not be used to counter this loss of life. When Nameless Race is brought into play, star may not be greater than the total number of white cards all opponents have in play and their graveyards.
That's a weird card.
So it's like it's as big as the life you want to pay, with a ceiling of as many white cards as your opponent has in play and in their graveyard. But what's fun about Nameless Race is that because they're Nameless Race, literally there's no subtype. It's just creature.
That's it.
That's it. It's just neat.
Yeah.
Also, Quentin Hoover art.
I like Cam's idea. Has anyone in LRR played Netrunner? I played the original
yeah.
Netrunner. I haven't played the new one.
I own the box that sort of brought Netrunner back a few years ago. I haven't actually played it, but I own it. And I played Netrunner in high school with like Jeremy and stuff, but not recently.
How has your opinion of the game changed in the time between playing for fun and becoming known for creating Magic content?
That's a good question.
So, for me, anyway, it's less about the game itself and more from like sort of a meta perspective. And this isn't actually about the creating content, because this is sort of how I feel about video games as well. This comes up a lot on Checkpoint, is perspective, because some people, like Wizards will make a decision or announce something, and some people will be like, how could they ever do X? What were they thinking when they decided X? That doesn't make any sense. This is the dumbest decision they could ever make. And now that we are in a position where we know some people at Wizards, and we don't have insider information, but we just sort of, we've seen how they operate, I can sort of be like, well, I completely understand why you think that's a terrible decision, but I also completely understand why Wizards would make that decision. Does that make it the correct decision? Not necessarily, but I understand the position that they're coming from. It's made me a lot less like snap judgy about decisions that WotC makes. But I try to do that with everything.
I'm in exactly the same boat as you, but I think that actually has more to do with just me getting older.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I don't know if that's about us making Magic content, or if that's just how I try to deal with everything.
Yeah, because that's how I try to deal. I'm far less critical about, especially media, right? Yeah. TV, movies, games, video games, board games, all these things. I used to be overly critical, overthink things like when I was in my early and mid-20s. And definitely as I've aged, I've been like, like, if I like it, then I like it, and if I don't like it, then I don't like it, but I don't make a fuss about it, because there's things I do like, and I'll just pay attention to those. Yeah. And I think that has more to do with aging than it does with being so close to the game now.
I still have, counterpoint, I still have very strong opinions. I just, there's more nuance.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't. That's a good question, actually. I don't think about that one.
I think I have gained a new appreciation for the Nameless Race art since I started playing. Look at the foreshortening on that guy's left arm.
Oh yeah.
It's really good.
I think there's definitely. I think there's definitely something to be said for, while I don't feel, because we create Magic content, like we do this podcast, we stream two different streams a week. We do Friday nights. I certainly don't feel obliged to enjoy everything that is made Magic-wise.
No, absolutely.
But I definitely feel obliged to try it.
Yes.
Whereas before I'd be like, I don't really need to worry about XYZ thing, and now I'm like, well, I should probably try that. Like,
Well, because when you become a voice in the community, people seek and value your opinions on things.
And I want to.
It's important to be informed.
Exactly. I want to be informed. I want to be speaking from a position of knowledge.
Yes.
And so, yeah, there's that. But I certainly don't feel we are not obliged or required to enjoy anything that Wizards makes.
No.
For the record.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite Magic trivia?
Favorite Magic trivia.
Remember when we did that for like 3 episodes?
Yeah,
Like the first 3 episodes of Tap Tap, I was like, okay, James, here's my Magic trivia for this week.
Yeah. I don't even know. I got nothing.
I can't think of anything offhand. There's a lot of really good stuff.
I do like all kind of like the guesswork around who the Raven Man is.
Oh, that's new, isn't it? Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, the Raven Man
Man
story
is-
is not new, but that sort of came up again recently.
Yeah, somebody wrote a very long, detailed article about it, which I thought was kind of interesting. Like, who could the Raven Man be? You know, and I think they concluded it was either Leshrac or Limdol, maybe, or one of.
the Raven Man?
And I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. I don't know if it's any of those people, but you know, there's some interesting behaviors that you can draw lines through.
What makes a good limited or constructed format for you guys? Has there been a bad limited format lately that has made you want to stream less?
I did not like Hour of Devastation.
No, I didn't either.
And I find it difficult to put my finger exactly on what made me not terribly interested in playing a lot of it, because, like, Amonkhet was actually quite good now that I look back on it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I think Ben described it really well when he said that Amonkhet had a lot of cool build-around cards in it, but the structure of the draft made it so that if you wanted to build like the zombie deck in our Amonkhet Limited, you would have to pick up your lords in the last pack. And that made those kinds of decks much more difficult to build and favored much more kind of like vanilla style decks.
And that's part of why they're changing the whole draft format.
Yeah. But like Kaladesh,
I don't know if I can
Like-
put. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what makes a good limited format, and I can't. I don't think I can put it just into words simply within like a few sentences. But it's just this feeling that you have, like it's just you enjoy. For me, it's a combination of loving the cards and the art and the story and the world. And that's why I'm actually really excited about Ixalan, because all of those things are checked off for me. I think all the cards are really cool. I think the art is amazing. I think the characters in the world are really neat. And that's coming from a guy who generally doesn't really care too much about the story of Magic. Like, I don't really pay too much close attention to it. But even just through, osmosis and playing with the cards and just sort of interacting with that small part of the story, it does a really good job of getting me excited for it. So
thinking back on it, I think it might have a lot to do with having your win cons at uncommon and your moving pieces at common, and then rares can be like big bombs, but they aren't necessary to making synergistic decks work.
Yep.
Like I'm thinking specifically of in Kaladesh, they had the 2 decks that I loved the most were the Teamer, but basically Simic Splashing Red energy deck. Where your payloads were Minister of Inquiries, which was a mill payload that used energy to mill your opponent, and the other was Whirler Virtuoso.
Yeah.
But like all the moving pieces were like the puzzle knots at common, the green one that gained you life and the blue one that scryed, and then the blue cards that bounce things to your hand as additional costs, like the Disappearing Act.
Right. And the modules.
Yeah, and the modules, which made for a really like fun synergistic thing where you were getting value off things that should have been downsides.
Yeah.
And then like occasionally you would also just open a good card at rare.
Yeah.
And you would play it. But the other one was the Boros Gremlin deck, where you were playing Cogworker Puzzle Knot to make, put an artifact into play and then make a servo which would buff your gremlins.
Right.
And then you would also have the Fire Weavers that would do damage when artifacts enter the battlefield. And those guys were all like common. So you could put together like this deck with 2 or 3 copies of these things.
all right.
Yeah, that would be my notes.
Cool.
Sorry, I was just looking for a thing, but quickly to go back to the trivia thing. One piece of trivia that I think that I have this right, is that Marrow, obviously named in tribute to Mark Rosewater.
Yeah.
But also, if I recall correctly, the art for this is something that Mark Rosewater just bought because he liked the art. Like, it wasn't actually commissioned for this card. It was just a cool piece of art that they later decided to put on a card.
I didn't know that.
That's neat. I like that.
Thoughts on conspiracy sets as a draft format, and will you ever do another conspiracy draft? I really enjoy it, and I imagine we will.
Yeah.
So because your wording was that we're doing an old-fashioned Q&A, someone said, well, that's an oddly specific question, but sure, what kind of bourbon do you prefer to use in your old-fashioned?
I guess Knob Creek is a fine bourbon.
Yeah. Whichever one the bar has.
Sounds good.
I mean, it's going in an old-fashioned, so...
Yeah. Would you ever get an MTG-themed tattoo?
No.
And what would it be?
I don't think so.
I
could maybe see trying to incorporate MTG in some way into a overall tattoo, but I would never get a standalone Magic tattoo. I don't think I would do that.
No.
I think, not to say anything against Wizards of the Coast or anything, but I don't think I would want to get a tattoo of a commercial product.
Yeah.
Because, like, what if for some reason down in the future they change Magic, so it's not, so you're like stuck with this tattoo. It's like, oh, you like that game
this is from when it was good, from back when. This is from before.
Yeah, like, could you imagine walking around now with a Duke Nukem tattoo? Oh.
Lots of people do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so sad. It's too sad. No.
We do know someone actually with 3 Magic tattoos.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
there's
Ben
definitely,
Wheeler's got...
He's got Ponder,
Ben
and
Wheeler,
Sensei's
Brainstorm,
Divining Top. And Brainstorm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a few
really
people who
gorgeous.
have the guilds tattoos.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, I have nothing against people who do.
No,
for sure.
you do you.
You do you, but I just definitely don't think I could ever do it.
What do you think Dominaria will be like when we go back to it? Oh, I don't know. I'm excited to find out.
It was trash can last time we saw it, right? Like, it was a wasteland.
I think so.
I don't know.
And yeah, I don't know. Although I think it'd be kind of neat if we went back to it and it was just like this verdant green happy paradise, and everyone was like,
Oh,
what happened?
Why didn't we?
Why
weren't we coming
what's
back
going
here?
on here?
Yeah.
Something's amiss.
Basically, yeah, it's you don't want Wizards of the Coast to be doing a story about your plane. As long as as long as the game of Magic the Gathering stays away from your plane, you're probably okay.
Yeah, but as soon as as soon as the set gets made, bad shit's gonna go down.
Shadow, Lorwyn's doing great now.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
We know Angrath the Minotaur pirate planeswalker will be in Rivals, says someone. Do we know that? We assume that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I assume they wouldn't name drop him.
But who do you think the other planeswalker will be? I don't know.
I think it'd be hilarious
I
if it was
someone's going to come and try to rescue Jace.
I think it would be hilarious if it was Liliana. Like, she and Jace, or Vraska and Jace are just like about to kiss, and Liliana comes in.
Tybalt.
Someone's asking what Highlander decks have you been brewing recently? Let me tell you, by the way, if you're listening to this podcast and weren't aware of this, we recently launched, because I don't think we talked about it on this show, we recently launched another entire Magic podcast called North 100, a Canadian Highlander podcast, with Serge, Alex, Liam, and Jeremy, different Jeremy than you might be used to. And it's all about Highlander, and it's weekly as well, and you should check that out. They just did an Ixalan set review and episodes about how to build your first Highlander deck. You should definitely check that out, which is to say, I don't have a good answer to that question.
I'm still brewing my Aristocrats deck. It's okay. It's okay. It can win some surprising matchups.
What place that we haven't been to in a while would you like to see Magic revisit?
I would love to see Shadowmoor Lorwyn. I want to see, I actually really want to see what happened. Like, we saw what happened when Lorwyn flipped to Shadowmoor. I want to see them waking out of the nightmare and how you do that.
Yeah.
Because I always think those are really interesting stories, right? Like, I want to see the story kind of an aside. I guess I want to see like stories about people kind of courageously putting their life together back together after catastrophe. Mm-hmm. Right.
I would like to go back to where's the R in this word? I'd like to go back to Ulgrotha.
Oh, the Homelands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Redemption. What kind of planes do you want to see in the future? I mean, Mark Rosewater has a list of like underground. I'd love to see an underground.
Well, I mean, that was John
John
Loke's whole
design
design
from the
search. Yeah,
designer search.
Would
thing,
love
yeah.
to see an entirely underground plane. I think that would be sweet.
Let's see here. What was the biggest mistake you made when you started playing Magic again? Like bad plays or not fully reading a card?
Oh, I don't even remember.
I Inquisitioned of Kozilek, Gassed on turn 1.
Ooh, rough.
Yeah, and my opponent was like, really?
Okay.
Like, turn 1, Swamp, Inquisition of Kozilek. Oh, Bloodghast, I don't like that.
Yeah,
And then they
And my
were
opponent's like,
Swamp.
Bloodghast, and I was like, right, yeah, I knew there
that's
was a
what that
reason there was
does.
part of my brain screaming. Saul still tells that story.
I remember when because we started playing with Scars.
Yeah.
The very first draft we did as a group, we were drafting Scars for the very first time. And in terms of mistakes, it wasn't until about, I think, halfway through the draft that we all kind of realized that Infect does damage equal to the creature's power. It's not just one point of...
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Oh, damn.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a couple more questions in here.
All right. Someone else asking about what do you see as the necessary steps to expand the Canadian Highlander to a wider base? They actually talk about that. I think it's the next episode actually of North 100 is them talking about, actually maybe the previous episode by the time you hear this one, ways to start a Canadian Highlander community in your local Magic community. So you'll want to check that out. If you could planeswalk to any planes, where would you go and why? The thing is, for a normal human, most planes in Magic kind of are terrifying.
Yeah,
Gold
where's the next
Meadow.
one?
Gold
Gold
Meadow.
Meadow. Yeah.
Yeah,
The goat plane.
Yeah.
Right, it's just you and a bunch of goats in a
Yeah.
field.
That's where
I mean,
I'm
it's
going.
kind of boring, but you're not going to get killed by stuff immediately.
I mean, you could probably do okay in Ravnica, just sort of keeping your head down.
Yeah, it's just a big city.
I mean,
You'd be fine.
I'd want to go to Kaladesh.
Yeah.
I mean,
fair.
it seems, now that the revolt is completed,
Yeah, right.
it seems like a better place to live, and they've got like, interior plumbing and heating.
They've probably figured out a solution for the gremlins.
Like if somebody coming along and chewing on your cables is really like,
It's the worst.
Yeah.
That's true.
you've got a strong civil rights movement. The government's like, okay, just take whatever you want. I can deal with that.
What is Gibbs' favorite Ixalan card? Oh, I haven't thought of a good Gib nickname for anything in Ixalan yet. What's... actually, Cedric Phillips inadvertently came up with one on, on SEG coverage. Well, because he'd written down Conqueror's Galleon.
Oh, yeah.
But his handwriting was bad, and he didn't know.
I saw that clip.
He didn't know that Galleon
Was a ship.
was a word, and so he's like, Conqueror's Galoon? Like, I get this Conqueror's Galoon here, and crew that up. By the way, Conqueror's Galleon is sweet.
Or just Conqueror's
and I-
Galoon.
Yeah, James and I played it in the Streamer Showdown on stream yesterday, and it was awesome.
Yeah, just returning any card you want. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I should have run. I
really
opened this
good.
as my pre-release foil and then opened a second one and didn't run either of them because I was like, Crew 4.
You fool!
Yeah, no, you definitely should probably
Four.
you should probably run this card.
And then
'Cause
I
you-
just kept reading it and I'm like, yeah, I guess this is fine and limited.
But
And then I
it-
read it again and I'm like, this was bonkers.
It's
and
going
then-
to flip. Like
Yeah.
it's just like unless they can put 10 power in front of it, it's gonna flip, and then you get this land. By the way,
This crazy utility land.
Yeah.
real quick, this will be the last thing before we go. Conqueror's Galleon. It's a 2/10 vehicle for 4. Crew is 4. When it attacks, no matter what happens, as long as it doesn't die, at the end of combat, it transforms. It exiles and transforms, so it comes back untapped into
I missed that.
Conqueror's Foothold. Taps for a colorless. You can pay 2 and tap to draw a card and discard a card. Pay 4 and tap to just draw a card. And pay 6 and tap to return a card.
Yeah.
Any card from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah.
So we had like a bunch of mana. We were in this dinosaurs deck. We ended up with like 12 mana, and we had like the Otepic Huntmaster that was reducing the dinosaur cost. We had the pillar of whatever that was naming dinosaurs. So we were like, all right, pay 6, get back this 6 mana dinosaur, play it for sort of 4 mana, kind of. We did one where we were like, pounce, get back, pounce again. Oh yeah, no, it was filthy.
Yeah.
It was filthy.
Yeah, I should have been running these. I can't evaluate cards.
I don't know if you necessarily need to play 2, but I would definitely play 1 in most
It's
any
probably
deck.
why I think I dishonored my sealed pool by not playing my pre-release foil when it could have gone into literally any deck, and that's why I underperformed at the pre-release. That's what I'm going to say. Anyway.
All right, that's
I
fair.
dishonored its spirit.
Conqueror's Galoon turns into Conqueror's Foothole. Get your foot right up in that hole. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we didn't get to everyone's. Huh?
Is the idea with this that the conquerors arrived with a ship full of dinosaurs?
I guess in our thing, yeah.
It kind of works like Trading Post, right?
Yeah.
Only with, so it's like you arrive in this ship and then you disassemble the ship into like your first community, and then you attract trade.
Yeah.
So, sorry we didn't get to everybody's questions, but boy, there was a lot of really fun questions. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. We'll be back next week with more. Thanks again to cardkingdom.com/LRR, and thanks again to all of you from the Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. That's going to do it for this week. Thanks for listening. Bye.